Hi, and welcome to the Piano Man podcast. Today, I chat with Albert van Dyke from the Netherlands about his study of Latin music in Cuba and his experience as a long-time piano entertainer. Let's get into it. So welcome to the podcast.
Yeah, man.
Albert van Dyke.
Yeah, the
Great
one
to
and
have
only.
you here. That's it, mate. So great to have you here.
Wow, thanks for having me here.
And yeah, it's been a while, actually. We haven't seen each other in a while. You've been busy working. I've been busy working.
Exactly. I mean, we've seen each other a lot, though, but over the last few years.
Yeah,
it's been
exactly.
in and out.
Yeah, that's it. Well,
Yeah.
I've known you since about 2001.
Yeah, I was thinking about it, actually, when you invited me for the podcast. I was like, we've known each other like over 20 years.
Yeah, 23 to be precise.
Oh, wow.
There you go.
Oh, my God.
Yes.
We're getting old, aren't we?
Absolutely. That's kind of what happens, isn't it? You get
Yeah,
older
it
and
is.
die, you know. But back in the day, the Crazy Pianos, the early days of Crazy Pianos, which is actually, that was my first experience of dueling pianos ever. But I'm curious, with your music, where did your journey start with music?
Like
The very beginning.
very beginning,
Yeah.
like my when I was like 7, I think.
Yeah.
And I heard my brother playing piano. He's a classical pianist,
Oh, okay.
and we went to the same, like what you call like a music school. You know, when you're teenagers, grown up. You know,
Was that through school or was that separately?
It was separately, like a different music school. You know, yeah, everybody could play like violin or drums or whatever. Well, we picked piano, of course, and I was like, oh, that's what I wanted to do. Like a whole. I was like 6, 7, and like a whole new world opened up to me. I'm like, this is great. So, actually, in the beginning, I was aiming for becoming a classical piano player.
Yeah.
So I really studied that, but that was like when I was 7, 8, 9, 10 years old. You know, 12 maybe.
Yeah.
And then
hormones
later on, I got
kick in.
infected with, well, like we all do with pop music, jazz. You know, you hear.
Syphilis.
Yeah. So you. Well, welcome to the podcast.
No, but I mean, that those teenage years probably change. I find a lot of kids, once they get to the teenage years and girls get into the picture, then that can change your musical direction.
Oh, yeah.
Suddenly classical's not cool anymore, and you want to be playing pop music.
Exactly. And back then, like, let's say from the 80s on, I mean, we're both basically 80s kids. I was born in the 70s, of course.
Same,
But
yeah.
when you really start listening to music and you're an 80s kid, you know what I'm trying to say by that. So I had my old like transistor radio on top of like an acoustic piano set at home.
Yeah.
And with a little cassette tapes.
Yeah.
And just recording the songs I'd like and just sitting at home and
Waiting for the song to come on the radio.
exactly. And sometimes it took like 45 minutes or whatever,
Yeah, well, longer,
and
yeah.
the DJ was just talking through it and like, oh my God. But anyway, and trying to figure out the songs that I liked, like on the piano and trying to sing along with it. And yeah, that's how
That's
I got.
so funny because that's really my early experience, and it is so different now. Oh my God! I mean, the amount of information that
Oh,
you
my
have
God.
now is just, kids can be ready in a fraction of the time. You got these kids coming out now that are way more experienced and knowledgeable than we were.
Oh my God, will ever be.
Because of the education,
And also, I remember when, well, we'll probably get into that later, but when I started at Crazy Pianos, like in 97 it was, I still remember, so it was 1997, 1998,
Yeah.
I was still writing song lyrics on paper,
Yeah.
just to get them into my head and going over the songs at home.
Yeah.
I mean,
But that was
nowadays,
a really good way of doing it.
because actually, it's the same with phone numbers. And okay, it sounds really old what I'm saying now, but I still remember my parents' phone number from back home.
I remember mine.
Now, I have no idea. I mean, maybe I know 1 or 2 phone numbers.
4475078. That was the first
Exactly.
one. Yeah.
Now, I like, I was coming back from holiday and I went swimming with my phone, which is a great idea. Don't do that. So I lost all my contacts and my phone was fucked. Oh, sorry about that.
That's all right.
But, yeah, who are you going to call?
Ghostbusters.
Well, exactly. Like, you know any phone number?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's not like that anymore, is it? Phones, you can go 30 feet down now. 10 meters, no problem.
Well, not the one I had.
Oh, okay. Yeah, but now,
Now, yeah.
it's crazy how quickly technology is moving.
It's insane. I can't keep up.
So your early days, you studied classical and that.
Yeah.
I mean, I heard you early playing some nice. What was that? Chopin. No.
Chopin, yeah.
I love that song.
Well, I don't play it good, but that's one of my all-time favorite classic songs.
Same. I want to learn, but I never got to. You know.
I got a transcription at home if you want to.
Oh yeah, I know. I think I've got it actually too because I've got lots of Chopin, but I've never just got round to it. You know, I've learnt some Chopin, but not that one, and that's one I've been meaning to. It's like one of the standard kind of things.
Yeah.
If you're going to do Chopin, you should learn that.
Yeah. It's just
now, which one was it? It was.
I think
Fancy
it's the
Impromptu.
Etude. I'm not exactly sure actually.
Oh, okay.
But it's one of the most famous ones.
We're going to look it up.
Yeah, we're going to look it up.
And then we're going to like put a little thing, it was this.
Yeah, we're just going to edit it out.
I'm going to do that because that's a great song. So, you know, okay, so you got into it early, music and stuff. And from there, did you get into bands? Did you get into playing solo or what was your thing then?
Well, I think it was in my teens, so I was like 14, 15-ish. We had on that same music school where I was still attending, there was a big band, you know, basically a trio with all the horns and jazz big band. And I was like, wow, this is really nice. Mm. So I informed and I got hired as the piano player for that big band.
Yeah.
And so I got a little bit more into jazz, you know, like Count Basie, Duke Ellington, like the old big band stuff, you know, take the A
swing
or whatever.
era.
Yeah, swing.
Yeah.
And of course, during the years, I was like, I really like to play more like kind of a compact thingy, like a trio or something, you know, because as a piano player in a big band, the bass player and the drummer are basically the heart of the band, you know, but I wanted to do more solo stuff and more, so I got into these trios and I went to the North Sea Jazz Festival one of my first times and saw Kenny Barron playing, and I'm like, oh my God. So another whole new world opened up for me again, you know, like what's going on here? It's like so many, like Herbie Hancock, and well, name them all, you know, all the big jazz cats. And I was like, oh my God, that's what I want to do.
Kenny Barron was a big influence on me. I transcribed some of his stuff.
Yeah, me too. Oh my God.
You know, Voyage. Do you know that one? Yeah. That one I transcribed. I absolutely love his playing. He was very modern sounding at the time when I was.
He's like a sort of what I think, and don't count me on it, but like in between the like the old bebop and like the modern piano players. He's like sort of
modern bebop.
Yeah, like sort of in between guy. Sometimes he has this really nice old bebop licks. I'm like, whoa, you know.
He kind of comes from the Hank Jones school. You know?
Yeah.
But then he's got the Herbie Hancock
exactly
happening as well. Yeah, for sure.
Like, I mean, he doesn't, he's dead, unfortunately, but Kenny Kirkland, for example.
Oh, I love Kirkland.
I mean, but he was like a real modern.
Yeah, very.
You know what I mean? Like, oh my gosh, all these, and then.
Yes and No, and some of his solo albums were really cool.
Yeah.
I don't know if you heard, he's a brother trying to catch a cab on the East Side. That was kind of funny. But he does a lot of blues in that album as well.
Okay.
But it's really kind of modern jazz as well.
Yeah.
It was a really strange mix. But he's got quite a few albums.
Oh, yeah. And of course, I mean, he played with Sting and all these things. I've seen him actually in concert with Sting. And I think it was Steve Gadd on drums.
Oh, wow. That would have been great. Where was that?
I think it's Ahoy Theater. Ahoy Rotterdam, the big concert hall.
Okay.
But it was like in 93 or something like that, you know, like a long time ago.
Yeah, wow. That would have been a good time to see it because that was when he was kind of in his heyday, really.
Yeah. He came out with his walking cane and with a white suit and his white hat. Like, it's so funny to see. And then you start playing and you're like, oh my God, okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. No, he was a fantastic player.
Yeah.
And is he still alive, actually, Kenny Kirkland?
No, Kenny Kirkland died. I'm not sure of what reason, but I don't know whether he overdosed or committed suicide. I don't know. I mean, I don't want to speculate, but yeah, I think he was still like very young, like 42, 43, something like that when he died. Yeah.
Yeah, probably coke or heroin,
Oh,
one of
well,
the two.
wouldn't surprise
That,
me.
well, there was a period where that really hit a lot of the jazz musicians
Yeah.
hard. I mean, obviously, Bill Evans
Oh, yeah.
and Miles Davis. I think when your peers are doing it, it's and they kind of didn't have much knowledge on how much you should be taking. I mean, I think people started to moderate it a bit later, and after lots of people were dying, they were kind of like, maybe we shouldn't do that. It's funny because I think even now today, you find that there's a lot less drugs and alcohol in the industry.
Yeah.
Even from 20 years ago.
Exactly.
I mean, we always used to drink like crazy fish, and everyone was doing all kinds of stuff. But these days, I meet a lot of players that don't drink, don't smoke, and do the gig, and like that.
I don't drink.
No, I don't either.
I smoke.
Okay. But I mean other things. I mean, like as in hard drugs.
No, I never used hard drugs.
Yeah.
So
Okay, but you're an exception. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Well, back in the day, I mean, now that's what I'm trying to say. Now there seems to be a lot less people doing
Exactly.
that. And for the better, I think, for sure.
I mean, but when I do gigs, and sometimes when you've done your set and you go to the bar with the drummer and the singer or whatever, and what can I get you guys? A Diet Coke, a Sprite, and a tea. And I'm like, yeah, this is really rock and roll.
That's funny.
That's the way it is.
It is. It's kind of ended up with that. So, how did you end up getting into dueling pianos and the whole piano entertaining thing?
Oh,
What set you on that?
you're skipping the whole thing. I mean, I don't mind, but
What did we skip?
like after my music school, what I went studying in Rotterdam.
Oh shit! Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Of course, I forgot you studied, didn't you? So no. Well, what I mean by that is university. You did. Yeah, you did. I mean, because obviously you studied.
I call it conservatory.
Yes.
Yeah.
You're one of us that did that because I mean, look, and I've talked about this a lot with other piano players. Dueling or dueling pianos or piano entertaining does not require that you can play the piano. To be honest, I mean, like, okay, you have to have real basics down.
Yeah.
But beyond basics, it's not important.
Exactly.
And me coming in as a trained jazz musician was probably more of a hindrance than it was a help.
Yeah.
I know, because I mean, but then it kind of does a full circle because at the end of it, that ends up helping, not hindering. At the end of the day, it's an added bonus.
Exactly.
If you can entertain and sing and you can play like crazy, then you've got the package.
Yep.
But you often find players that are great entertainers but terrible players.
Oh, yeah.
Or, the voice isn't strong, but the playing is strong and the entertaining is good. You've got to have like 2 or 3 of those components.
Yeah.
And so, but for me, I love music before I did, the whole piano entertaining thing. So I studied like you. What was your study journey? Tell us about that.
So it was like in 98. No, sorry, 89, I mean.
That's the Dutch thing.
Yeah. My brain is not working anymore. No. So I went auditioning at 3 different conservatories because I wanted to go on a musical path. Like that's...
Yeah.
I knew I was
Which ones did you do?
Groningen, Hilversum, and Rotterdam.
Oh, okay.
And...
I mean, it's all changed now since back then. As in which places are better for what? What courses did you apply for?
Actually, in the beginning for jazz, it was called light music.
Oh, yes.
Like so pop jazz kind of. That was my ground. And
did they have jazz studies?
Yeah,
they did.
Yeah, you had. Yeah, of course, you had your jazz piano player teachers or
no. But what I meant was the courses. Did they have a bachelor in jazz, or was it only light music, as in jazz / pop?
Well, you had different categories. Of course, you had your...
Yeah, no, but what I mean is, so where I'm from, when I first started, we only had either you could study classical or you could study jazz. There was no pop course. Right?
Exactly, yeah. But this was incorporated.
So there was a pop jazz course.
Yeah, there was like, you could only go for jazz.
So there was a dedicated jazz course as well.
Yeah.
Okay. But you chose to audition for the jazz pop course.
Well, actually I did, and... This is a funny thing as well, because it was like a pre-year to be entering the first year of the conservatory, So I only had like 8 to 10 hours lessons a week.
Yeah.
Where I had my master classes with my piano teacher, they wanted to see me progress over the year to see if I was really able to get into the conservatory. So I had to audition again. The first year I got hired, and so I went to Rotterdam, by the way, because my folks, especially my dad, he was like, Albert, if you want to go into music, don't stick around here. I'm from the north of the country. I'm from Groningen.
Oh, you in Groningen?
Yeah, it's a little town. And he's like, nothing against Groningen or nothing against Limburg or whatever you're from. Yeah. But most people live around here, The Hague, Rotterdam, Amsterdam, Utrecht. So also the most musicians you'll probably encounter here.
So
the most
that's where you want to go.
You will have.
Yeah.
So I think he was right, looking back to it.
Does Groningen have a good jazz course? Or did it?
I think it back then, I mean, of course it did, but I think the best was basically, I think was Hilversum, but it was almost like a jazz factory kind of. I didn't feel at home there,
Oh, so you went to Hilversum?
No, I auditioned there.
Oh, and you went, it wasn't for you, I see.
Yeah, and then I went to Rotterdam.
Codarts?
No, that was not yet. It was called the Rotterdam Conservatory.
Oh, okay, because now it's called Codarts.
Yeah. And then during my pre-year, I was having the conservatory by then had two main buildings. They had one main building and one building on the other side of the road, which was more like where you could play with ensembles, big, large groups and just stuff like that, like recording studio and whatever. Yeah. So in that building, I had one of my main classes. Yeah. Why, I don't know, but thank God I did. Because while I was doing that, halfway during my lesson, a salsa band was playing downstairs.
Oh, cool.
And I was like, oh my God, what is this? I never heard it.
You'd never heard it before?
Never.
Wow.
So after my class was done.
How old were you here?
I was 21-ish.
Wow.
And so after my class was done, that band was still going on for another half an hour, 45 minutes, whatever. So I went immediately downstairs and just opened the door and I sneaked in, just listened to I was just blown away. And so the teacher who actually taught that ensemble, he was also the main piano player for the Latin department, which just opened that year. We had the world music department in Rotterdam. And world music was, you had the tango, Indian music, flamenco, and Latin. And he was the piano head teacher of the Latin department.
And incidentally, that's become the focus of Codarts, isn't it? World music is really the main thing. I mean, it's known for that.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So, but I was just inspired and just started playing songs and listening to it. And then the next North Sea Jazz Festival, and I saw guys like Michel Camilo.
Oh, yeah, Michel Camilo.
I was like, oh my God.
He was a big influence.
So I got to talk with this guy, and he's like, so why didn't you come and audition for the Latin department? So, well, I said, my folks and me are going crazy. I switch every year, but so, well, I can also teach you jazz. It's not like you're just going to skip on that completely. Yeah. But then the main focus will be Latin music, salsa, merengue, bossa nova, samba. But wow. I can also show you the way to play jazz. Yeah. So I auditioned for both, got hired for both in the first year. Yeah. Then I chose to go to the Latin department. And that's how I started my Latin background.
Okay. So did you do a degree?
Yeah.
I see you did a degree in Latin music.
Yeah. I studied.
I did not know that, Albert.
I finished studies in 96.
Yeah.
So I went there for the pre-year and 5 full years.
Wow.
Yeah, I got my my degree there. Bachelor
that is
degree.
Awesome. Did you ever consider doing a master's?
Actually, I mean, I think you mean like you have two directions you can go to. Yeah, back then you had like what they call a DM degree or a UM. DM stands for docerend musicus, so where you can
teach. Degree. No, that's not what I mean.
Oh, it's not what you mean.
No, so I understand that you can have a teaching or a performance degree. Yeah. I did a performance.
Okay.
But you can also, in both categories, do a master's.
Oh, I didn't.
So you can do a master's of teaching or a master's of performing, and that's another 1 to 2 years depending on the course. And then after that, you can do a doctorate and become a doctor. of
Okay.
music. And that's another 1 or 2 years after that. And those two things are mostly study. They're
Okay.
mostly research.
Uh-huh.
And I did look into, actually, because I was interested in even going to Code Arts to do my master's.
Oh, nice.
I looked into how much it would cost as a foreigner to do, and it was expensive. So I was like, no, I'll wait till I become Dutch, and then I'll do that. And now I'm Dutch, and I have no time. It's. I would. Idealistically, I think I would like to do it, but to be honest, I'm playing way too much to have time to sit down and have the luxury of being able to study and write a thesis and come up with stuff. And you do have to, because a lot of teaching in the Netherlands, if you want to go into higher education, they will ask that you have a master's.
Yeah.
A degree is not enough.
Yeah.
Like you can have a master's without teaching, or you can have a teaching master's. This is what a lot of the international schools will want. But to be honest, after talking to quite a few people that did masters, people I know who studied like injuries or the solfege system.
Okay,
I just thought, what a friggin' waste of time. Like, you want to become a doctor?
Yeah, exactly.
You want to study solfege because no one's going to go do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, and then let's make a whole system do, di, re, re.
Oh, yeah.
Why?
Yeah. Why?
I mean,
exactly.
You're just wasting time, you know? I mean, so for me, in the end, I decided, it's not even worth me going back because I gotta have a reason to study. I want to explore something that's valuable to society, and that is not.
Or it adds something to your own thing, like
exactly.
Like
I'm gonna
new or whatever.
Yeah, I'm gonna make money from it, or I'm gonna educate people, and they're gonna, there's got to be a reason for
exactly.
it. Not just because I want to study and I want to have a piece of paper that says I'm a fucking doctor or whatever. That's to me just totally pointless in life.
Exactly. Yeah.
But so you studied. And did you have your own salsa band? Or?
Yeah, and I actually went to Cuba as well.
Where did you go?
Studied there. Santiago.
Santiago
de Cuba. I went to Conservatorio Esteban Salas.
Oh, wow.
And I studied there.
How long for?
Like a few months, like 3 months.
Wow.
And then the next year I went to Havana. And that was, oh my God. There was this band that I really, really adored and still do. I mean, called Climax with a K. It's like, and one of the Gerardo Piloto is the drummer of the band.
Yeah.
And Huicho Rodriguez was the piano player back then.
Yeah.
So a friend of mine who was the singer of my salsa band in Holland.
Yeah.
He's from Camagüey, which is the third city of the island.
Yeah.
And him and his wife went to Cuba for holidays. He said, well, why don't you come over and I'll try to arrange, you can have private lessons with this guy maybe. It's like, well, that's like absurd, but it worked. So he picked me up on a motorbike every day, this piano player, and we drove to his place, and we just studied songs and songs and songs. And then eventually the bass player came over. He's like, who's this guy? And then the percussion player we all started jamming. And it was, after a while, there was one of their songs that I really liked, like an insane, incredible song. They had a performance outside at a place in Havana called Miramar. So look at the sea, like an outside. And they were playing, the whole band. And he's like, okay, let's just sit aside the stage because you don't want to be ending up in the crowd because, well, Cuba's poor and they see you as a tourist, You never know what happens. Yeah. So I was sitting there just enjoying the band. And that song came on. Yeah. Well, there was the next one. And he stepped away from his keyboard. He's like, come on. And I was like, oh, my God. So I started playing the song, and all these Cubans were dancing. They were like, who's this white guy? What is he doing up there? Yeah. Man, there was like goosebumps, like, oh, my God. It was a great experience. So I actually played with that band on their concert. It's like, what?
That's a dream come true.
Oh, my God, yeah.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
Do you speak Spanish?
Not fluent, but, I make a lot of mistakes, But I mean, when you go to Cuba and when you play with Cuban bands, they don't speak English.
Yeah, right.
Well, some of them do when they go abroad, but especially there.
Yeah.
So, you have to adapt. There's no way of talking anything else.
Which is great, which is fantastic because you really absorb. This has been always for me the hardest thing about living in the Netherlands is everyone speaks English. And even
Exactly.
when I speak good Dutch,
Yeah.
people will switch because they hear my accent.
Yeah.
Because they want to speak English. Oh, hey, how are you? No, dude. Laat Nederlands alsjeblieft, kom op. Yeah, and that's frustrating. So actually, as much as it's a disadvantage and frustrating, it's a really good way to learn the language.
Yeah.
To be immersed in the culture.
I remember the first time I was there, and I was just this guest parent's house, with and the father, he spoke a little bit English because he used to be a sailor, so he picked up English on the way, but not great.
Yeah.
So everything was in Spanish, and my Spanish was. So you start making sentences in your head like, what time does the...
Yeah. How do you do
school-
that then? Did you have a book or did you...
Yeah, well, we had Spanish course in the conservatory.
Oh.
Yeah, you had to study Spanish, but it was all out of a book. You really don't... I mean, you don't really get to talk a lot, so...
This is the beauty of the modern day.
Yeah.
Now, what do? I cross-check everything. Well, and actually, it's even changed since this. But I cross everything with Translate. So I'll type in Dutch my sentence, and then it'll come out as English.
Yeah.
And what's really funny, it does this sometimes. It'll come out and it'll say exactly what I was trying to say in English, but then I'll switch it over and it'll completely change the sentence.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, oh, okay, that was completely grammatically wrong. Okay.
Yeah.
But I mean, God, don't you wish you had that back then?
Oh my God! I mean, my head was exploding. Can you imagine after 2 weeks or after a week? I'm just like, because when you ask something, you're like, okay, ¿dónde está la escuela? So where's the school? And then you get an answer. And you're like, you pick up a few words. And you're like, wait, what? And now you have to process that again. It's like, so after every night I slept like a baby because all these Spanish words is like.
Hey, have you ever, Chat GPT?
Sorry?
Do you know Chat GPT? Okay, so that's a new AI.
Oh, I don't
Chat
know.
GPT 4 is the latest. And right now, I've talked to it because you got it on your phone. You can talk to it.
Yeah.
And you can learn a language from it in real time.
Nice.
It can speak. It can swap languages with you, and it can correct your everything. And it's like just talking to a person. It's really that advanced now.
Oh my! I gotta have that.
And at first I did it on text. I'm like, oh, kan je praat Nederlands met me? And I said, yeah, natuurlijk. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
Wat wil je zeggen? Whatever. And I was like, shit. This was in real time, and asking it to correct my grammar and stuff, and it was doing that. It was just amazing.
Wow.
And now it even talks in a natural voice and does that as well.
Really?
It doesn't sound so much like a robot anymore. And
mind-blowing.
it's really, you got to check out ChatGPT 4.
Oh, you gotta have that. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's called ChatGPT 4o, and it's like text, audio, and it listens and it looks. So it can see, you can show it with your phone, everything, and it'll tell you what's in the room. And it'll tell you the vibe of the room.
Really?
And it'll tell you what you're doing. So say, oh, you're writing a letter, or it's insane.
It's scary, but it's great.
It's funny because I went to school here to learn Dutch, and I've had private lessons and that, but I found ChatGPT to be really good to learn language, even better than having a person with you, because of course it's on call. You can just set it up whenever you want,
Yeah.
But getting back to Spanish, that I just wanted to tell you that because I found that so fascinating. Again, here we are. This is in the 90s, yeah? Yeah, late 90s.
I finished school in 96.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Like summer, right before summer 96.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You mean Rotterdam?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that was, back then we're still using records and tapes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there was none of this technology now.
Oh, no. Even at school, we had this library where you could just get all your cassette tapes and recordings from, like books and
It was a case of going to the library, getting out records, going home, putting them on tape.
Exactly.
And you would listen to them while you did that. So it was actually a pretty good education,
Yeah.
And I built up this massive library of tapes.
Me too.
With all,
we're from the same
absolutely.
same year, yeah.
Exactly. 71?
Yeah, me too.
Oh, there you go.
Yes.
And I graduated in 97. So
Yeah.
just the year after you. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool.
Yeah. So I graduated '96, and I was playing playing in 2 salsa bands and had my own gigs with different bands as well.
So were you at university at the same time as Benjamin and Hans?
No, I think they're a little younger than me.
Oh, okay.
I
Yes, they are.
Yeah,
Yes,
so
they're younger than us, yeah, for
I
sure.
think
They came after you.
yeah. I think I was finished already, before they went over there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool, yeah, okay. Because, I mean, it's funny that, I think Benjamin went to, I think they might have both gone to Rotterdam. I'm not sure.
Could be. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I did, we talked about this in the podcast.
Oh, okay,
yesterday, guys.
cool.
So that was really interesting. And what's funny is I think there was a connection to the Conservatorium and Crazy Pianos.
Yeah, there was.
So tell us about that.
Well, I have to rewind a little bit.
Okay.
There was this guy at the conservatory, and he was a teacher, I think, or something. But on side of that, he had like this little, like data bank or whatever you want to call that, with all the musicians at the conservatory who were playing anything, like a string quartet or playing for weddings, doing whatever, So when people called the conservatory to ask if there were musicians available for their wedding or for whatever they want. But I was one of them in that book because he knew I was doing receptions, weddings, little parties. I had my own little trio where we would go out and play these things. So I actually had a lot of requests from him playing on people's weddings and stuff like that. Yeah. And then I think Crazy Pianos called Conservatory because they were opening Crazy Pianos '97, the first club. And they were looking for piano players, of course. So that's when that guy who had me in that data, he said, well, you want to check it out? I said, well, let's go, let's see what's going on there. I had no expectation, didn't know what was going on, and then I had to go to the main office, I think, of the Bias Beach Club, and I was like, okay, what? So they explained what they wanted to do. You're doing a lot of songs, you request, entertainment, blah blah. You're playing piano with another piano player. So well, cool. So I auditioned, and that was '97 November or something like that. It's December.
Yeah.
And I got hired, but I only knew like 4, 5, 6 songs by heart.
And were you also before this singing, or is that something that you'd adopted to do for Crazy Pianos?
Yeah, before Crazy Pianos, I was always singing. With the songs I knew, and I liked singing, so it's cool.
Yeah.
So they hired me, but I was like a deer in the headlight. Like, what is this? What's going on here? And
did you have some Dutch songs at the beginning?
Yeah, I think I did Vlieg met me mee naar de regenboog, Paul de Leeuw. That was huge back then, I'm talking 25 years ago.
Wow.
And I did...
Because I haven't had that requested since, probably,
Actually, I had a few times that request popped up lately.
Lately? Wow.
Yeah. So I don't know where that comes from, but... Yeah. And I think I did Summer '69 or something like that. Like a few English songs as well. Mm. And so they hired me. So I studied my ass off, like the first year. Mm. I did like 300-400 songs, just at home and practicing. And I had all these papers with lyrics, bringing them to the gig because I'm like, oh my God. And I'm like, how on earth am I going to get this all together? People can request anything.
Yeah, I know.
That's just insane. Like, how can you be prepared for that? But eventually you get used to
what people are asking for.
Exactly. Because I was like, there's billions of songs out there. How on earth am I going to know them all? That's just insane.
Yeah. But there's really only a few hundred that people know.
Exactly. That's what you're focusing on,
Finding them is the issue.
Sorry?
Finding them is the issue.
And,
and from request cards, I know Benjamin told me that. And in the beginning, he would just take request cards home and learn all the requests he got,
Yeah.
So
that's the way to do it.
It is a really good way of doing it, isn't it? Yeah.
And just making. I made like a little list for myself. Like, okay, back then, I'm talking. Billy Joel, Elton John, Bruce Springsteen, whatever. And it's like, okay, Michael Jackson, and blah blah blah, whatever. And just have at least 2 or 3 songs by each of those bands, guys, girls, whatever they are, and then go over those songs.
Now you were one of the players early at Crazy Pianos that was trained by the Hallelujah Moon players.
Yeah, exactly.
By Jeff and...
actually, before that, by Sam Leatherwood and by Chris Roberts.
Oh, okay. Chris Roberts I didn't know.
He's from
Sam
Florida.
Leatherwood,
Sam
yes.
Leatherwood, he's like a legend, you know?
Yeah, yeah. He's also a banjo and guitar player.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
I went actually in '98. I went over to his place in San Antonio.
Oh,
yeah,
cool.
because I was so, again, a whole new world opened up for me. Again, I'm like, well, what's this? So I really wanted to find out what's going on. I went over there and for 3 or 4 weeks, a month.
To Howl at the Moon.
Yeah, and I also played there.
And how did you find that compared to Crazy Pianos?
It blew me away.
Yeah.
Because back then, and I don't know now, but the amount of entertainment, the way, I mean, that would probably not work in Holland, but the way they come up with things, jokes in songs, I was like, oh my God, this is almost like a circus, you know, like.
It's a lot more slapstick, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, yeah.
And of course, I mean, in Holland, I think excess is there, but I think the level of playing might be higher. But I know some really great piano players over there. So
it's funny you say this because of late it's been a thing for me is that the level of playing and singing is really high here, but the level of entertaining has departed from that too much.
Yeah.
I feel like it needs to come back more.
Yeah.
And I don't think it needs to be like it is there, but there needs to be a component of interaction and show other than put your hands in the air and hey and ho.
Thanks.
You know, and that, and for me, I mean, okay, that's where we all go. Even standing on the piano and getting people to do things, that's great. But we're just missing the fun game show part of it, you know?
Yeah.
And this is kind of something that I've been harping on to a lot of players lately. I want to do that more. I want to come up with, you know, this is what I'm working on at the moment. It's just some little things that are funny that depart from just playing song after song. And, you know, because a lot of the American way is to have a formula, you know, have an hour formula, if you like. You do some songs, you do some slapstick, you get somebody up.
Yeah.
You do a showtime.
Yeah.
You do some songs, you do that, you know, and you have, you know, I remember hearing On Sands talking about this.
Yeah.
On the other podcast from America, actually, the Piano Barbarians. Have you heard of that?
No, I'll check it out.
Yeah, it is really good.
Nice.
I really enjoyed it. Got a lot out of it listening to a lot of these guys talk about, because I'm really curious as to, you know, the way, because really that's where this has come from, the concept of crazy pianos and the dueling piano, you know.
Yeah.
It's where it's come from, but it has evolved in a completely different way. And that is because culturally, the Netherlands has its own setup as far as music, a completely another word with Dutch music, you know. And even the way that they participate, you know, doing the Polonaise.
Exactly.
And the little things like, you know, with the rowboat and Pak Malasuan and you know, people doing all these movements, you know, to songs. They're different to the way the Americans do it.
Exactly, yeah.
But there is a lot of similarities.
There
you
is.
know, because Americans have, you know, the electric slide and things like that where they do movements and, you know.
I do think that Americans are sometimes a little bit more open to
1,000,000%
exactly.
with
you know,
you there.
I was trying to be. I don't want to put anybody in.
No, but they're ready and willing and able.
For example, I mean, I remember a long time ago in How to Moon, they had like this spinning wheel.
Oh yeah.
You know, with all his parts.
Yeah.
And so this guy or girl, whoever, he had his birthday, whatever. Let us say this guy had his birthday, and he had to spin the wheel, and wherever it lands on, he had to do. You know, there was like a drink a shot, whatever, or sing a song, whatever.
Yeah.
But also one was moon the crowd. And of course it landed on that one.
Oh my God.
And no hesitation. He pulled down his pants, well, with his underwear on. But I was like, that would never happen in Holland. You know what I mean?
Well,
maybe, but
back in the day, it used to.
Yeah, well, exactly. But
Yeah.
now,
No.
oh man,
No,
you
people are
you
too
get
cool
fired
for
from
that.
the job. You know?
Yeah, people are too cool for that now.
Yeah.
Back in the day, we used to do a lot more
Exactly.
with wigs, with hula hoops, with all kinds of props.
Yeah.
And get people on the stage, and they'd sit there and we'd sing to them and make fun of them, get them to do dances.
I love
I think that's a really fun part of it, you know.
I love goofing around, but it also seems like nowadays. Oh my God! Now I'm gonna sound really old, but like also, I mean, the generation has changed. You know,
Oh, absolutely.
Where you can't afford to. I'm not saying that you want to be racist or something. Don't go
Politically
there at all.
correct,
But certain like we used to say, or certain things we used to do.
Yeah.
Nowadays, you can't really do that anymore because people get offended or
No, but you can still do it a different way.
Yeah. That's what I'm
But
trying.
we just don't.
Yeah.
And I think that's, something that I'm moving forward trying to change
Yeah.
about what I do with my show is incorporate that more and do some fun things.
Yeah.
But we'll see. I mean, I feel like that's really dropped out of the scene, and not because it's not good, because people have come up and don't know it.
Yeah.
See, when we started, that was still there. And it kind of phased out slowly because the piano players got watered down with new players who hadn't seen it.
Yeah.
And it became less and less prevalent until it completely has disappeared.
Yeah.
It's really, you'll only find some of the well-seasoned players that do it sometimes, and they rarely do it.
I mean, back in the day, we always used to dress up and do Queen medleys with a Queen cape and a Queen crown and standing on top of the bars and walking around. And there was like chaos everywhere, well, chaos, but controlled chaos. But we always did like duets and dressing up with wigs. And
Yes, and the other component I think of that was that back in the day, the Crazy Pianos was a team.
Yeah.
So we didn't play other places.
Exactly.
That was our main thing, and we worked on that.
Yeah.
And because it's become harder and harder to have people doing one show and they're not really paid well enough for it, then you get diluted with players that have other interests and are not willing to put the time in anymore.
Exactly.
So, I mean, I've tried to get people together to let's work on something, but to be honest, I think I'm dreaming because people have their lives and their own things going on.
Exactly, yeah.
And it's just unrealistic to think that for no money, people are willing to come in and do something for the good of music or for the good of the show.
Yeah.
When in fact, if you're looking long term, it's an investment.
Yeah.
But
exactly,
it's not seen like that.
No.
And that's difficult, and I think it's unfortunate, but it's also even an opportunity for some people that if they step up, they could be doing something other people are not.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's I experienced also when I'm playing with partners that are not as strong as a piano player. I mean, I can accompany them, so they can go out and sing and do whatever they want and dance on the piano and go wild. I can play their bass lines in the piano.
Yeah.
But then sometimes the other way around, then I was like, oh, why didn't you go out there? So, well, I can do that, but he or she might not be able to. I mean, I know if I'm playing with you easy, but certain, and you're like, okay, I can't go out there because then there's no bass line, there's no piano anymore.
Yeah.
So I make a fool out of myself.
Yeah, absolutely. I hear you 100%. Yeah.
Those things would be nice, if people at least know certain bits, like you're doing a show, and let's say I know, for example, I will play with you, and I know you got like 3-4 big things you want to do out there.
Yeah.
I could go home and study those things and say, okay, this is the sounds.
Yeah.
Oh, the Adam wants me to play this, but he's going out.
Yeah.
Dude, I got you covered.
Yeah.
And the other way around as well would be nice, you know?
Yeah.
So you can both have 2-3 things.
Yeah.
But most of the time, I'm stuck behind the keys because I'm like, no, I mean, I don't sound arrogant. That's not my point, but
no, yeah, absolutely. Well, and this is the issue with not having a team.
Yeah.
In that situation. And I think I heard on the other podcast, the Piano Barbarians, talking about that, a lot of players are locked in there still. They have them as a team. Yeah. And that team works as a team and comes up with shit together. And that's, that's where you really, and I think for them also tips are huge. They're not really big here. I mean, we still have tips, but they're not even, 10% of what they make in there,
Sorry to interrupt, but when I play now, sometimes I do these like solo gigs, and people actually tip me like $5 or $10, and I'm like, I'm almost shocked, like, oh yeah, like I don't expect it at all, it's not in my system, and then I'm like, I'm so grateful, like, oh wow, well, what can I play you, sir?
Yeah, exactly.
Because it's
not the culture.
No.
Well, it kind of. is and it isn't, you know. I mean, but I think if people are really impressed with you, they'll come up and give you a tip, and then it's like, wow.
You're like, whoa.
But, you know, in America, it's actually a given. You need to tip the piano player,
Yeah.
you know. But even that, I mean, here in Europe, you'll find when playing in a bar where there's American tourists, half of them don't tip anymore.
No.
Whether they can't afford it or whether they think, oh, it's not in their culture and they don't do it, you know.
Yeah.
But you'll still get those that come at the piano and throwing bills at you, which is fantastic. And it's a lot of fun, you know.
Oh yeah, because it makes you feel appreciated, and if you know half of that material that they want to hear, like Jimmy Buffett or whatever, you know, like any of those songs, or like hey, you know, you got them wrapped around your finger, you know, like so they'll keep coming back and oh nice, and you play this song and hey, that's cool, you know.
Yeah, I mean, so it is very different in America, slapstick. I know James Byron absolutely loves playing for American audiences. That's his real thing, you know. That's where he's ended up there, and he's like, you know, that's where I prefer to be. He also said to me he'd prefer to be a stand-up comedian almost if he had the balls for it, you know.
I've done that.
Yeah?
Yeah, well, a long time ago.
Yeah, you've always been a joker.
I love joking around, and I have my own
Confucius
little show.
Jokes that always came up. I remember it's the first time I heard it. A man who walks sideways through
airport doors
is going to Bangkok.
Is going to Bangkok.
Yeah, that was hilarious. But you're always throwing these funny jokes, man.
Oh, I can tell you one funny thing about me doing stand-up show.
Oh yeah, tell me.
I was in Delfshaven.
Oh,
well, in Rotterdam. So I ended up there. I was still young. I was like 20 or something, and I had my own little show. I had a few songs, a few jokes ready, and I did the whole show, and I got some response, and I'm like, oh my God, this is hell on earth, you know? I'm like, it turned out 75% of the crowd was French. I'm like, couldn't you have warned me? You know, like, what? I'm there talking Dutch, singing Dutch. I'm like, they're like, yeah, it sounds nice. I have no idea what he's saying. I'm like, well, that's just stupid.
Yeah. Do you speak French?
No. Oh, a few words.
Yeah.
But I said no, but it's hard. It's really hard.
Yeah.
I mean, they taught me in high school, but
yeah,
I'm like,
totally.
Du pain, du vin, du rex. That's all I know. No.
Do you sing any French songs now?
I used to do. What's the song? Can I go to the piano?
Well, we'll do that in a bit.
Okay,
But well, what about other languages? How many languages do you sing in?
Well, that's also good that you mentioned, because as a Dutch person, I mean, in Holland, of course, you have to know not only the English in the North American repertoire or Australian and New Zealand, you know, Crowded House, whatever. Dutch songs is a big thing here, of course.
Yeah, of course.
And then we have influences from Germany.
Yes.
We have German songs, you have French songs, Italian, Spanish.
Mm-hmm.
So even some Turkish or
Norwegian.
some whatever. Yeah, so I'm like, whoa, that's a lot of material to go over, you know.
And how do you find singing in a language that you don't speak? Do you find that nerve-wracking sometimes? Like, do you find feel a bit self-conscious when you're singing to people who ask you for a song in their language, and you've got to sing it and you sound like a Dutch person, and you probably got half the words wrong because you've phonetically completely learnt the wrong word? You're probably saying, you know, I ate a poop in the sun instead of,
No, I try to make sure that the songs that I do know in for example, Spanish, that I know what I'm singing, you know?
Yeah.
But of course, there's certain songs that I'm like, in other languages where I'm like, oh.
Yeah. Do you speak Portuguese?
No.
Okay. So
so I just make up words.
I see tu pego. Do you know what that means?
I see tu pego.
I see tu pego.
I have no idea. It's probably something sexual.
Oh, okay. No, the song. Nossa, assim você me mata. You do that, yeah?
Yeah, I do that, yeah.
You have no idea what it means?
I just sing it phonetically.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And what about, because you do speak a bit of Spanish, so you would know Despacito, what a lot of that means.
Yeah, that's
Do you sing that one?
No, I don't actually. I sing. I do like.
You do
Juan
more traditional Spanish songs.
Yeah.
Which is very cool. I like that.
Yeah, I love that. You know, the like Juan Luis Guerra and Gloria Estefan, and also
yeah.
Buena Vista Social Club. And,
Do you know Mi Tierra?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, you've done that. I love that song. I love
That's
playing
a
it.
great song.
Yeah. Millón de Café.
Moliendo Café.
Yeah, that's another standard. That one is yeah.
Yeah.
Moliendo Café. Yeah, that was because I played in salsa bands when I was younger as well,
nice.
and that was we had a band Tropicana, and we did everything because we played for all the different communities in our Latin communities in Perth, where I'm from.
Yeah,
and so that could have been Colombian, it could have been people from El Salvador, it could have been all over the place.
Mexican, Cubans,
yeah, exactly. So main two groups, Cuban and Colombian.
Yeah.
Different styles. They're always saying theirs is better. So you could be doing merengue, or you could be doing cumbia, or you could be doing salsa. You know, and so I got a pretty broad education of what the different things were, and I still have that in my memory. I loved it so much. I don't do it anymore, and I kind of wish I did play in a 10-piece salsa band.
Yeah,
because to play merengues all the time and have people dancing is just amazing.
One time I had a band. It was a 14-piece band.
Awesome.
Charanga, with charangas with the violins and the flute.
Yeah, that's
two
awesome.
trombone players, two trumpet players, whole rhythm section, bass, 3 singers.
Yeah.
But of course, you didn't make any money.
No. Who cares? Who fucking cares?
Oh my God, 14-piece, so we only did festivals.
This sounds so amazing.
Yeah, and it's like, traveling costs and some food. And
but I mean,
we had fun.
Well, the thing is that you make no money 80 or 90% of the time, but then you're the kind of band that does these giant friggin' gigs where you actually make like a bit of money.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe you make good money for 1 or 2 gigs in the whole life of the band, but then you play in front of 5,000 or 10,000 people.
Yeah, it was great.
and which is just an experience.
There you go, and it was so great doing that.
Yeah.
Oh man, loved it. About rehearsal.
Yeah.
Trying to get 14 people together.
Tell me about it. Yeah.
So we had different rehearsal sections,
like rhythm
section,
singers,
horns, whatever,
Yeah.
And then eventually, I remember one time we had to do a gig in, I think, Tilburg, a big festival.
Yeah.
And we couldn't find any rehearsal room anymore. We finally had I think 12 out of the 14 ready to rehearse. Mm. So the singer of the band, he was the leader of the band, he's like, well, we got these people together. Let's do it in my home. I'm like, what? So it's in Rotterdam. It's like this. Well, he had a pretty big house, like a long hallway. You could separate with the doors. So you opened them up. And it was actually 12, and eventually 13, because another guy showed up as well. Drums, congas, piano, bass, horns, the whole charade was there. He opened the doors, and it was like one big party because everybody knew that the band was coming to. I was like, you can't do this. The police will be here in like 1 minute, big party.
Didn't happen? No police?
And it's loud as, oh my God,
Yeah.
And you know how Cubans are. You go nuts, oh my God, okay.
Awesome. What a great rehearsal.
Yeah, it was a great rehearsal.
Yeah.
So oh my God. That's things like that. I love that, like in the middle of neighborhood, in the middle of everybody. People on the balconies like, what's going on there?
Yeah.
People come over, start dancing, and they're like.
That's awesome. Yeah, so how many languages do you think you sing in?
Well, English, Dutch, Spanish, German.
Yes, I've heard you do German.
I do sing in German, but
let's just say, look, no matter how good or bad, how many languages do you sing in?
French.
Yeah.
Let's say maybe some Italian songs as well.
Yeah. Well, Bella Ciao.
Yeah, but also Eros Ramazzotti or stuff like that. Like play Se bastasse una bella canzone.
Okay, that's a popular song. Yeah.
There's
definitely links with Spain and Italy with the Netherlands. Especially Spain.
Yeah,
as this is was a colony of Spain once.
Yeah.
No longer.
I wasn't there.
No, I wasn't either. But look, a question for you here is: can you give us any crazy gig stories?
Any crazy gig stories?
Yeah, I'd like to hear something pretty funny.
Well, I remember I was when I just started playing in Rotterdam. Well, I moved over to Rotterdam to go to the conservatory. I had like a steady gig in the Kralingse Bos. You know, they have the Kralingse Plas, which is like a lake inside, and they have like these restaurants around it. And I was playing like
Kralingse Forest Bos.
yeah. And I was doing like a steady gig. They always called me when they had receptions, weddings, stuff like that. And they're like, okay, they need a piano player. Can you come over? I was living like 2 kilometers away from there. So I went on my bicycle and just played the gig and then got over. And then one day there was this reception. And actually, after that, a wedding. Half of them were Norwegian, and half of them were Dutch. I think the bride was Dutch, or the other way around. It doesn't matter. Yeah. Anyway, but the Norwegians, and nothing against them. No. I love them, but beer and alcohol.
They can drink.
And it's cheap for them over here, you know?
Oh, yeah, of course.
Yeah, and especially on a wedding, you don't have to pay anything. So, my God. I mean, I think the wedding, the reception was like 5 till 7 or something like that, you know?
2 hours.
Yeah, and then afterwards I could eat something and play a little bit before the real band started, like they had a band later on that night, and I had to play like one more set, like 9 to 10 or something, or 8:30 till 9:30 something. So I think like halfway in the reception, like 6-ish, 6:15, and I already had a few Norwegian guys just being really drunk and obnoxious and like, you know how it is. Can you play? And it was like, oh my God. So I was just, play it. And then after, one guy, and I didn't pay attention, but he was so drunk and he just got the hiccups. Yeah. Well, he just threw up all the way on my right side, like all the way over the keys, over my clothes. And I was like, that's just
my God.
Horrible. I just stopped immediately. I had to wash it off. And
That's so gross.
That's so sickening.
Funnily enough, I've had it happen to me too.
Really?
Well, somebody throwing up on me. And it's not a good experience.
No.
No.
Oh, my God. Jesus.
Yeah.
Stuff like that happens.
So did you stop playing or?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
I mean, also, this is disgusting to tell, but also, you couldn't play on that piano. Well, you could, but there's puke all over
Okay,
it.
Never mind. What would you like to hear, guys?
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
just,
half the piano is
the
just
vomit off my face here.
Yeah, and off the piano and inside the keys.
Man.
You know what I mean? Yeah. It's just like, what are you going to do? And the smell. Have a nice wedding. Thank you. Good night.
What did the bride say? Did she or the group?
They were embarrassed.
Oh yeah, that can happen. Yeah.
And
but they were apologetic.
Yeah, I know that they paid me, and they afterwards they called me and said they were so sorry and blah blah. Well, I don't blame them, you know, of course, but yeah, put yourself in my shoes. I'm not going to continue like nothing happened, you know, like what? Jesus,
that's crazy. Man. How do you find this job affects your lifestyle? Do you find is it a positive, negative thing for you, or do you enjoy the lifestyle? As in, do you like the time that you have in the day? I mean, because it is different to the average person, who works generally 9 to 5. We don't do that.
No.
How do you find that affects your life?
I find it great. You know, it's I have a lot of time doing stuff that I really want to do beside music, you know.
Do you ever do 9 to 5, or do you do 9 to 5?
I had to, you know, like especially during COVID.
Yeah.
I mean, if you mean that, I worked at like 2 years at DPD. Oh, okay. You know, the poster. At the conveyor belt. 2 years, 6 days a week.
Wow.
Yeah, and even night shifts, like 12:15 till 7:30 in the morning.
Wow.
Like, oh my God! If I think about that.
Right.
But anyway, I mean, you got to do something to survive.
Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, I did lots of 9 to 5 when I was younger, and it didn't work. I wasn't very good at it. You know, I kept trying to do music, and it was interfering with what I was doing, and it for me, this kind of lifestyle is beautiful. It's to have your days free and then go out and party at night. Horrible life.
And exactly, I see it in a lot of things in life, and maybe you can relate to that. I don't know, but sometimes I think it's just me. Am I so different than other people? Because also my interests, my fantasy, my lifestyle. It's like I'm so not used to the way normal people, if I may say it like that, would do things. I'm like, oh yeah, that's the way. But I would do it via Bulgaria, going to Austria, and then I'll come there as well. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they'll do it in a straight. And I'm like, oh yeah, like, yeah, but it's just a whole different mindset. I think we have.
It is entirely.
And I'm not saying that one is better than the other. No.
And look, I think especially for piano entertainers specifically, there's a lot of travel involved. You know.
Oh yeah.
There's basically moving around there. Have you ever done cruise ships before?
Well, I was about to do one with James Byram and Jan Roymans.
Yeah.
And that's when COVID hit.
Oh.
Because we actually I got my maritime visa. I still have it in my passport.
Yeah.
And it was like in March or something. I don't know.
21.
And then, Trump was president and he canceled the flights on Friday coming from Europe going to the States.
Yeah.
And we were booked to leave on Saturday.
Oh.
But looking on hindsight,
better. Yeah.
Be glad. I mean, you're sitting in a cabin out on the sea. Nobody wants to dock you on any of that. You're just sitting there waiting for your meal 3 times a day and you can't leave your cabin.
No, thank you.
Oh, my God.
That's prison.
You know what I mean? You can't see any movie or go anywhere. Oh, my God.
I'm so glad I was. I mean, I did a lot of cruise ships, but thankfully that was well over before that.
I would love to do one.
Yeah, they're great. I mean, maybe you should speak to Tim Bowie, huh?
I would love to do like a month or something, like going into the
Yeah, I mean, look, I've got my son is 5,
Yeah.
And I've got 3 kids and leaving my wife behind to take care of that, that's not practical anymore.
No.
Unless they can all come, and that's not going to happen. You got school, you got laws.
We go out for 5 years. Thanks.
Yeah, I was going on a cruise forever.
Forever, yeah. We're going to sail from the Caribbean all the way to Perth and back.
and back.
And back.
For the rest of your life.
Enjoy it. No.
So tell me, if you were to go back in time, as a young player, what advice would you give yourself?
Oh. Save some money. Yeah. I mean, that's one thing.
Well, let me rephrase that because I think this is relevant. If you were to go back and give yourself some advice that you think you would listen to,
yeah,
what would you tell yourself?
Focus. As to even during my studies. I was, and I'm HDSE, so I'm like I got attention span of 3 seconds, and that showed. Even my teacher, he said, Albert, he said, why don't you just concentrate on one thing? Because I was at the Latin department, and then I heard the guys from the tango department, so I went over there and checked that out. I got to play with Karel Kraaienhof. The bandoneon player.
Yeah.
He played for Maxima as well. I played with them.
Yeah.
I had lessons with him also for 2 years.
Yeah.
And in the meantime, there was this guy who did art class. Like I took lessons with him as well. I was like, I'm here anyway. So I did performing arts as well. But so my teacher, but that's me. I'm just.
Yeah, but is that a bad thing? I mean, because you got an education in all the little things because you have a whole life after. To make the decision of going down a road. But at that point, when you're exposed to so many great things, it's such a good idea to get a little bit of everything and then decide, well, I love this direction. I'm going to go here. If you hadn't have seen all these other things, maybe later you would have spent all this time doing that and gone, hang on a minute, what about all those?
Yeah.
Or you might have seen it later and when it was too late, so.
Yeah, true. But sometimes...
And there again, if your teacher's telling you this, I can't imagine you're going to listen to yourself.
No, but sometimes I wish I could be a little bit, even if it's just 10%, a little bit more focused on things. I'm distracted right away, and that's hard to. I work the best under deadlines,
Yeah.
If I know like, tomorrow, this and this, and I have to study 30 songs, I'll start tonight at 10 o'clock. I'm kidding, but as an example, because I know that there's no way out anymore.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So I have to go, or you do it or you don't. That's and if you do, then that deadline is coming.
Huh.
And if I got like 3-4 weeks to study, I'm like, I can do it tomorrow. Not that I'm lazy, but I'm like, I'll focus on different things, you know? And
Yeah.
yeah.
And what about new players that are wanting to get into piano entertaining? What advice would you give them now? Someone just going, hey, I see what these guys do at the gig. I'd love to do that as a job. How do I get into that? What do I do?
I honestly, I mean, well, of course, be prepared, but that's something just out of the blue.
Be prepared how?
Like song wise.
Right. So learn a whole bunch of songs.
Yeah, for I mean, you don't have to know like 1,000 songs right
No,
away, but
but
at least know like 50 songs that work nowadays, or like some classics, whatever. And read the crowd. That's it, and your fellow musicians. You know, like that's where you learn from. Don't. I mean, you're talking about a dueling show or by solo.
Yeah, I would just say if you're wanting to become a piano entertainer, and
Okay,
it does
'cause-
dueling or solo.
Yeah, because as a dueling piano player,
There's other things to consider.
Yeah, because what I see sometimes is like you have real solo piano players that doing dueling gigs, and they're completely unaware of you even being there. Well, they know, but I'm like, hi there, you know, like you might as well do the whole gig by yourself if you want to. I don't mind, but
Yeah.
So that's a thing to consider. Be prepared for long days as your vocals. If you do 4 or 5 days a week in a club, it's gonna be hard on your vocals.
Can be. Yeah.
It can be. I mean, you have to. I mean,
You have to look after your voice.
I struggled. I mean, I don't know about you. I
remember back in 2001, I lost my voice for a year and a half. I was like this all the time.
2 years ago, I went to hospital.
Yeah,
because I could talk, but that was it. And they found like on my left vocal cord, there was a huge infection, and on top of that, there was, how do you call it?
Nodules.
No, they in Dutch it's
cyst.
oedeem, which is like it's almost like a cyst.
Yeah,
because the doctor actually said, I don't know if it's. I don't even know what it is. I don't want to scare you, but this could be something not good. I'm like, you mean cancer? He's like, well, we have to check it. Thank God it was not that.
Yeah.
They scared the living crap out of me.
Yeah.
And so due to the infection, I mean, I got like on heavy antibiotics. I couldn't sleep of it. I was like, whoa, what's this?
Yeah.
I just got rid of the infection and my voice has gotten better.
Yeah.
It's not like it used to be.
Yeah.
It lowered a little bit as well.
Yeah.
But I thank God that I'm able to sing again, you know?
Yeah.
I was really scared. I just came out of the COVID pandemic.
Yeah.
Finally able to. I was doing gigs for half a year, and I'm like,
this is a really scary thing for piano entertainers is to have voice problems.
Oh.
And it happens to a large percentage of us for various reasons.
Yeah.
I mean, and I had the same problem for a year and a half. Everyone thought that was my voice.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's not even close to my voice.
No.
This is like me damaged. And actually what had happened to me was I'd come into Crazy Pianos and I'd gotten super sick and I tried to push through and keep singing. And I damaged it to the point where without a long time rest and a recovery plan, it was never going to get better.
Exactly, yeah.
And after a year and a half of hurting myself, I took 3 months off.
Yeah, that's the only way to do it.
And then it took me a year of doing a quiet gig where I was singing softly.
Yeah.
To actually get my voice back into condition. And to stop abusing myself as well, drinking too much, smoking weed, all that kind of thing.
Yeah.
That did not help.
Yeah.
That was actually probably the catalyst that
Oh yeah, it doesn't help. I mean, I'm a smoker. It doesn't help. Of course not.
No.
That's really.
Do you have anything online? Do you have any online presence at all? Social
media?
No,
not really.
like Facebook.
Oh,
Instagram.
I have Facebook. Yeah, I have, and Instagram. I don't know how Instagram works. I'm an old soul.
YouTube. You know,
I don't know. I don't have any.
No, okay.
Maybe some random things that people posted where I'm playing along with them. You know.
Yeah.
I should work on that.
Yeah, the reason I ask is because I'd like to put links in the description.
Yeah, I know.
But people can find you on Facebook, though.
Oh yeah, for sure. Just
Okay.
Albert van Dyke. Yeah,
I'll
yeah.
put that in the link.
Yeah. For sure, they can find me there.
Yeah, because it seems like,
And they can find me Tuesday nights at Opsporing Verzocht.
Oh, where's that?
No, I'm kidding.
Oh.
That's like a police program where they search for criminals. No, I'm kidding. Opsporing Verzocht.
Okay,
No, don't go there.
I was going to say, that's a weird name for a club.
Yeah, it's a great club. You gotta love it. Oh my God.
Yeah, I can never take you seriously.
No, sorry. Well, I've been serious for like what? We've been talking half an hour or whatever. I don't know. I've been quite serious. So
Yeah, you
you
have
know,
been,
jokes have to come out eventually.
They do, absolutely.
Or I'm gonna explode.
Albert,
Yeah.
let's hit the piano, man.
Okay.
Let's do something.
Yeah.
Okay, so what I'd love to hear is whatever you feel comfortable with, man. Let's see what you come up with.
Shall I do a Latin jazz song? I love playing Latin, or you want me to sing a song right away?
I don't care, man. I
You
think
don't care.
No, I think whatever comes to your fancy.
I love this song. It's a song by Chick Corea.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, it's called Armando's Rumba.
I love this song. This is one of my favorite. Woo! Yeah, man. Very nice. I love that song.
Yeah, man.
I love-
Armando's Rumba.
Yeah.
Shall I go back there?
No.
No, we just stay here.
Ah,
Okay.
this is it. This is your new place, man. This is it. Your new home for the
My
rest
new
of your
home.
life. You're not leaving.
Yeah, man.
No, that's a fantastic song, and I've heard you play that before.
Yeah,
and I've always
yeah,
thought, oh, geez, I wish I'd have learned that. I really
It's
love
great
that.
song. I
I've
mean-
learned the usual Spain and what, but never Rumba's Lava.
And actually, a funny story about this as well. I mean, I don't know every time, but Chick Corea, unfortunately, he passed away
He
like
did,
a year and a half ago, I think.
Oh, yeah.
2 years ago on the North Sea Jazz Festival, he was there, and me and also my daughter, we loved this. It's called My Spanish Heart. Is the name of the album
Well,
where Armando's Rumba, the song is on.
yes.
And
Somewhere up there.
I never heard him perform this album.
He
I
did
mean,
the whole
I've
album.
heard him perform heaps of times, but never this album.
Mm-hmm.
So he got to the North Sea Jazz Festival, and my daughter was there as well. Hey, Chick Corea's coming. And I had no idea. And he was there, did this album.
The whole album.
Here, see.
Ah,
And he started playing Armando's Rumba, and we were like,
yeah.
Here.
Yeah. I love
Insane.
all the foot stomping and clapping in that album.
Yeah.
is awesome. You know.
and then unfortunately, like a few months after the North Sea, he passed away.
Yeah.
So we were lucky to see him live and then doing that album. It's like, are you kidding me? Wow.
Strangely, he came to Perth actually a few years back. I saw him just before I came back to the Netherlands.
Yeah.
And with all the old players, with Frank Gambale, with the usual crowd on in the rhythm section. It was really good to see him play
Yeah.
live. You know, for at least once in my life.
Oh,
Since I've got about 14 of his albums. You know.
it's insane. Also with his electric band.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Eye of the Beholder. One of my favorite albums.
Yeah, that's great.
Oh my God.
That is a great. I can't tell you how many times I've listened to that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, I really love the acoustic band stuff as well.
Okay. Yeah.
That was really good. You know, the first one that he did.
Yeah. He could
You know.
be really going out there as well, with Dave Weckl on drums.
Yeah.
And sometimes he just really touched into this modern jazz. Like, whoa,
Yeah.
you have to be, keep your eyes open because this is heavy, you know?
And now he sings, now he sobs. I don't know if you know any of that earlier stuff.
Oh, yeah.
That's really amazing.
Yeah.
You know, but
Beautiful.
and what a long career that guy had, man. Just, you know, he really went through decades of music.
And being so humble, you know?
Yeah.
That's what I find with a lot of jazz musicians,
Yeah.
exceptions there, of course, but most of them are so humble and kind. And I mean, you can go up to them and they have time for you. And they're like the world's best musicians, in my opinion. You know?
Have you heard Chick Corea's podcast?
No.
Yeah, he's got a great podcast.
Okay, I'm going. See, I'm like you're gonna laugh, but I'm not that modern guy, and I'm not into podcasts and all that. I should be getting more into that. So,
but it's really interesting because he talks to lots of people about stuff. You know,
nice,
kind of just like this, hanging out, and talking.
Nice,
and that's really great. You know, because you just get all these nuggets everywhere about little things. You know,
beautiful, yeah.
About how they auditioned Frank Gambale. That was a really good interview.
Okay,
you know, and they were talking about he was actually getting feedback from them of what they were thinking of him when they came here. You know, because he came and he could already really blow them away with all his chops and stuff. You know, and he was talking about how Chick Corea. You know, he would ask him questions and he didn't like giving answers. He's like, is this meant to be a 7-sharp 9 chord or just a 13 chord? Whatever. Yeah. It's meant to be whatever you do. Okay. And he's whatever I do, what the hell, man? Yeah, because, you've got such high expectations. You want to do everything right. You know, you don't want to. Yeah. So I can imagine how stressful that would have been for him coming into the band, you know.
Yeah. Oh, my God.
But moving away from that a little bit. Okay. Because really. The focus here is piano entertaining, and you have a very unique style.
Oh my God!
The way you piano entertain, and that is, you incorporate a lot of comedy in your piano entertaining. You know?
Yeah,
and contact through comedy, and that's great. It especially worked well in Crazy Pianos because it was pretty much unique to you and your Spanish flavor, of course. You know? But what are some things that you like to do? To connect with people and entertain.
Sometimes it can be really silly things, you know, like if you have I always try to read the crowd, you know, get them in a basic mood, you know, like not just go out there and blast them over the head with whatever they have. Just get to the kind of feeling what the crowd is.
So put out some songs that you think, let's see what this does.
Like if the crowd is really, really like they're eating and they're just relaxed. Now I'll just start like a. Know it's kind of late. Hope I didn't wake you. There's something I just have to say. Hope you understand. And every time I try to tell you the words are wrong, so I have to say I love you in a song. It's Jim Croce.
Oh, wow.
I mean, it's like any of these songs, you know, like
Croce,
to get them in like a nice, relaxed mood. But then, of course, my eyes will go out to like, oh, I see a group of, there's a bachelor party there, or there's some guy dressed up with a weird, whatever. You know, just pick out. And then maybe I'll just pick them out eventually, or I'll play theme songs from movies or from commercials or anything to trigger. In the middle of a song, I will. And you see people like, what's going on? You know? Or like the old, you know, Lucky de Leeuw?
I know.
You know, it's like the old Dutch commercial. We still have them in between commercial blocks. On you have Lucky de Leeuw, which is like a little lion puppet.
Okay.
And he's famous.
Oh, yes.
And he's famous for saying, "Ashimendo."
Yeah.
He does his little crazy little bits, like 10 seconds. And he always had the. Ashimendo. So if you would put silly stuff like that in between a song, you know.
There's a few things I picked up of you. Papier here. And I'm doing that all the time.
You could come up with it.
That's from, what's it from? It's from...
the Efteling.
Efteling, and that was for throwing rubbish in the bin just so people have context.
And they're like, thank you.
Yeah.
Papier here. You have one like a crow. You know? Or Like for example, ik kan niet alleen. You know that song?
Yeah.
The Dyke. And in the middle it's like, then it goes into this middle part like, 'smorgens,
Yeah.
'smiddags,
Yeah.
's'avonds. Maar vooral, wasmachines leven langer met kogel. You know, that just put anything like that in between.
Yeah.
And you always get a response from some people in the crowd. You know,
You
like,
do. Absolutely.
That's what I like, you know,
Yeah.
like being silly, you know, and not, you don't offend anyone. I mean,
No.
just being silly, basically.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, and to be honest, it is an adult venue, so being a little bit crass is not actually that much of a big deal.
No.
You know? I mean, especially late at night. You know,
Exactly. I like to.
it doesn't need to be
sometimes
PG.
push it a little bit, but not going over the edge.
Well,
Like,
you don't have to insult people, but you can be, crass, or you can swear, or you don't have to. It's not PG, you know.
No.
You don't
Yeah,
have.
yeah.
Well, in the night time, I mean, okay, you might
Yeah.
have kids in the daytime, but generally speaking, you know, you can be a bit crass, you know, and have
Yeah.
fun like that for sure. No, that's I did pick up a few things off you as far as some of the things you used to do.
but didn't we all?
But I
do
have a
that?
question for you.
Yeah.
The theme song that we used to play all the time for Showtime.
Oh, yeah.
Da-da-da-na, ba-da-da-da-da-da-na,
Yeah.
ba-da-da-da-da.
How's
It's a C, I think.
it? See?
Yeah. Yeah. So what is that?
I think it was called. It was from a TV show or something. Something with toothbrush, tandenborstel. Oh, yeah, but that's.
Okay, because I was
Oh
really
my God,
wondering. I still do that when I do Showtime
Yeah.
at Crazy Pianos. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, it's Showtime. Ba-da-ba-da-ba. Welcome to the world's most dangerous sweet stuff. And I always wondered, did they make that up? Because it's catchy.
I think it's from a show. Something has it. I mean, don't. Oh my God! I think it was the toothbrush show. Waar is je tandenborstel?
Oh, okay.
Or
I'm going to
something
check
like
it
that.
out. I'm going to check it out.
Oh
what
my
about
God.
what about Crazy Shot Time? Who came up with that? Crazy Shot Time. Crazy Shot Time. Crazy Shot Time.
I think back in the day, I think I have to give credit to Orange Sense about that.
Ah,
I think it was back then because we had to bring up on stage Dr. Alcohol, you know, like
yes. Which was a bar staff member with a bottle.
Well, yeah, dressed up like a doctor,
Yeah.
with his gloves on.
See, that was all lost by the time I got there.
Oh my God! People could drink as long as they would just swallow alcohol.
Yeah, but I mean, it was like a really mild alcohol.
Yeah, it was like a
wasn't.
mixture of orange juice and whatever, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then we had to come up with a little tune.
I remember a girl doing 350 seconds. She
Really?
beat Timbui. Yeah. And she didn't spill a drop. And Tim's like, oh my God, what's happening?
But she didn't have to be carried off to the hospital?
No,
Oh my God.
nothing was, yeah. I mean, because I've seen people do that and throw their guts up straight away.
Oh, yeah.
You know.
Oh man.
Yeah, but now they kind of got legal issues with that. They don't do it anymore.
No, they don't. Okay.
No, well, that's a long time gone.
Yeah, that's what, 15 years or something?
Yeah, I don't know, but I haven't seen it for many years. It was a lot of fun. I mean, you could just do it with bloody non-alcoholic, you know, and
Yeah.
just pretend that it's a shot, you know, and drink as much as you can.
Yeah.
And throw that up. We don't care. You know.
Yeah.
You have a shot of orange juice, you know.
I remember one time, this is disgusting. Maybe I shouldn't even,
Tell us.
I'm going into it anyway.
Yep.
So we had these like cubicle boxes of I think it was wine in there.
Oh, yeah.
But it was like a promotional deal or whatever it was going on. I don't know. So it ended up like we had like 10s or 20 or like 30 of these boxes.
So it's like a box with a sack in it with
And
wine
then with a little
and a squeezer on the side.
Yeah, squeezer on the front.
Yeah.
And so, but we used them also for crazy shots.
Yeah.
But eventually, some of them were half full, some of them were full, some of them were like a little bit left.
Yeah.
But they just stayed in the crew room or stayed on stage. And like, I mean, after a week.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying? Oh my God.
Fermented wine. Oh my God.
And then people were doing crazy shots. And I was like,
Is
Dude,
this?
I don't even know which one is fresh anymore. Can we get new ones? Oh, just put them in. Oh my God, people were just throwing up everywhere because it's you can't do that.
That's real dumb.
No. Crazy shut time.
This one here is 2 weeks old.
It's just like it almost was green, you know. Like,
Oh my God.
that's horrible.
That is classic. Yeah.
That happens.
That's funny, man.
Oh
There's
my
so much
God.
crazy shit used to happen.
Stuff like that. It's like,
Yeah.
can you imagine if you would? They could sue you, you know.
I know now it's yeah. Well, back in the day, Holland never you couldn't sue shit, you know.
No, and I mean it was. I'm not saying everything was better because then you sound really old, but I mean people didn't seem to care that much either. You know, like was more like a free spirit almost.
Yeah, maybe that wasn't a good idea. I won't do that next time. End
Exactly.
of story. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
shit like that.
You're not dead, so you know.
You're not dead.
It's until people die, then there's an
Yeah,
issue.
then we would have had. A big
Okay, let's stop doing that, shall we? Another question for you is, what about drummers? What do you look for in a drummer when you're playing with a drummer?
A drummer who's paying attention.
Yeah, to you.
Yeah,
That's
and
looking
not,
at you.
Not that.
Yeah.
Oh, look at me. No, I mean I think we're
Listening.
both equal on stage. You know.
No,
Let me-
but they're accompanying you.
Yeah.
So they kind of need to be watching you all the time
yeah,
and listening to what you're playing
yeah, and
and following the party.
exactly. And
Yeah.
then sometimes I know because of adrenaline or enthusiasm, you start off a song way too fast or
Yeah,
whatever. You know,
yeah.
it can happen.
Yeah.
But I hope that the drummer realized that I'll always point to myself. Oh, okay, slow down, and I'll point to me like it's my fault. You know, I've done wrong. You know, so they know.
No, this is it, dude.
no, yeah, exactly. They will just blow off. It's yeah.
Yeah.
I think it looks bad on stage if you
Yell out, slow down.
yeah, slow down or be almost people are like, well, what's going on? No, that's not my style. You know, I'm like, hey, we're both humans, and
Yeah,
we can
totally.
we can make mistakes. You know,
These days, when I play with a new drummer, I tend to give him a few pointers about how I'm going to communicate. Like I'll say, if you hear me playing behind you, that means the song is too fast.
Yeah.
And it's not necessarily you. It could have been me that started it too fast. But if you hear me playing behind you, fall back.
Yeah.
And if you see me doing this, that means play faster.
Yeah.
And if you see me put my fist up like this, that means stop.
yeah,
And don't play anything.
Yeah.
I want nothing. Like, and from there, I want to, and if I stop my foot, that means fall to the floor.
Yeah.
And there's a few signals like that,
Yeah, it's
know,
good.
and then that's it. And then let's see how we go,
Cool. Yeah, and without being
Yeah, like, because
naughty or something.
you come across as angry.
yeah, but
If you're
that's
trying to go, stop, like, no, you're not going, stop, you dickhead. You're kind of, you're singing and playing, so you can only say it quickly at 1
Yeah.
minute. Da, 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 stop,
Yeah.
But that's not the best way to communicate,
I find because people can see it as oh, he's being really rude on stage or something,
Yeah, exactly.
and
yeah.
that's not the intention at all.
No.
And at least not from me, and not from you. Like,
No.
of course not.
And to be honest with you, I did used to get annoyed and offended, but I quickly learned that part of me was destroying my own show.
I've been there, yeah.
Not only was it making the other person and the audience uncomfortable, but it was hindering what I was doing.
Yeah.
And it was putting me in a mental state that wasn't good for me going forward. I wasn't able to entertain. If I can let it go and find a way of communicating, a bit slower and show appreciation for it, this is going to make, and then say, oh, it's all good. Even when it's not going super well, you don't come, man, that really sucked. Where the fuck are you? This is horrible.
Yeah.
That's in the middle of a show. That's not going to get you anything except the opposite. to that.
Exactly.
You're going to have a tentative person not willing to commit and afraid that you're going to bark at them. And so if you can just try to enjoy what you can of it and focus on that, then you'll get the best out of the moment. Yeah, but it's a tough one. Especially
because on top of that,
Yeah.
the next set you have to go back on with them on stage again.
That's exactly
You know what I
the
mean?
point.
And hey, how are you going to handle that? If you come out of it like really down, it's not going to lift the spirit up for the next set to come.
No,
You
no.
know, I mean, I'm not saying they have to steamroll you, but I mean, it does, like you said, it doesn't really help the performance in overall,
No.
because you're only going to be sitting there mocking, and then the other guy's uncomfortable, or the drummer, it's like, doesn't help.
No. Another question for you is, how do you learn songs? How do you practice? Do you have a method of learning songs?
Huh.
Of memorizing things? Or is it just brute force, repetition?
Yeah, it's basically like that. I nowadays I tend to study a lot of songs from singers, girls, who I have to accompany on gigs.
Yeah.
And of course, half the repertoire I know or I recognize at least, and or 75%.
Yeah.
But of course, they sing it in a different key than I do.
Yeah, yeah.
And the other girl might sing it even a half note up or lower, or so. It's a constant adjustment of like, okay, she sings it in G sharp, and she sings it in A. So no, I only do that song in a medley. It's the constant process of but it keeps me fresh. It keeps me.
But at home, when you're learning a song,
for myself,
just for yourself, do you have a method to learning? Like, for instance, what I do is I tend to first put the words up, play along with the music, like from Spotify or something, and then I take it away, and then I look at a verse, and I'll repeat lines of that verse, and then I'll repeat the next line, and then I'll put them together, and then I'll keep doing this in segments until I've gone through the whole song, and then I'll play it again, and then I'll leave it, and I'll come back to the next day, and I'll do that for 2 or 3 weeks until I've nailed it.
Okay, well, I most of the time I have YouTube.
Yeah,
and then I'll first of all I always wanted to watch the song with the video clip, because I just like to get a little bit inside
the vibe of what's happening.
Yeah, and then most of the time you can find the video clip with lyrics.
Yeah,
and then I'll put that on. So then I go over the song and just listen. Okay, it's just vaguely like this is the
outline,
the hanger of the song, like the skeleton of the song. Yeah. And then you go into more details. You're like, hey, what is he doing in front of that bridge? No, oh shit, that's the wrong chord. And then look, it's whatever. Then you figure out the song, but as you've listened to it, you've memorized quite a few words already. Yeah. That's how I.
How long does it take you to memorize a song to the point where you can recall it at a gig without having words in front of you?
Pretty quick, actually.
Yeah.
Well, it depends on the song. If I have to learn Mr. Jones by the Counting Crows, or what's the song by R.E.M., End of the World?
Yeah.
Well, good luck memorizing all those lyrics in one day. I mean, you know it or you don't. It's just like there's so many times you can just fuck up.
It's funny that because I learned Udo Papa. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I've memorized the whole thing and I've got it in my head. But then at the same time, I was learning another one, Amelia. For some reason, that just doesn't go in without me looking at text.
Yeah, it's some are just like, or you get mixed up in certain. Like the second verse.
God, that happens all the time. And then you sing things that don't make sense.
Yeah, you're like, why am I singing this? And, that was the second line of the fourth.
So
verse,
you've just made a sentence that's completely bananas.
Yeah.
And people are like, oh, is that did I get that wrong? Have I just, totally.
When people are like, no, it's this and this. I say, well, I could also make a mistake, Sorry that I ruined your whole day by singing one line.
I am not your cashew note.
Yeah, that's all. That's. I'm not. I take credit for that.
You do indeed, and that's why I sing
the song. Yeah.
Ik heb erectie als ik dans. Oh
my God.
Or epilepsy.
What was that? Oh, scheef alsof het water pas is. Scheef.
Er is een nicht. Die aan de man alleen in film zie.
Oh my God.
That's Dutch music here, but still.
Lichaamsdelen die alleen van jou kunnen zijn.
And, a classic. On a dark desert highway, cool wind in my hair, warm smell of clitoris rising up through bush hair. I came up with that many years ago. I remember doing it, and Oren Sands just about falling off his chair when he heard it.
Yeah.
And it's funny because in the Netherlands, although everyone speaks English, when you're singing a song, they're not going to hear that change of the words.
No.
They'll be just singing over it the correct ones.
Yeah.
And I've done that, all the other things. Me and Your Baby in 69.
Oh, yeah.
In the position of 69.
Yeah.
All these lyric changes,
Yeah.
And they're kind of made for fun, back in the day, especially if they were really subtle.
while I gave it to your mom. Ex-mom,
Come on, everybody, crap your pants, everybody. Everybody just crap your pants. Come on.
Boy, when you like, party people, like instead of party people, party people. It's like a horse thing. Party people. And people are like, It's just so
That's plain Dutch words, yeah. Yeah, I get that. That's
but
funny.
it's hardly, you can't really hear it, It's so...
Yeah. No, I love all those things. It kind of makes it all fun.
Heaps of them.
And it takes the seriousness out of it because at the end of the day, it is entertaining. It's having fun and
Exactly.
And when you're with a partner that does that, you can just have a lot of fun.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
The more, I'm not complete chaos, but I like it. So some people are like, what are we gonna play? I'm really nervous and I don't know if I know this song well enough. Like,
no,
hey, fall flat on your face. The more things go wrong, the better for me.
Yeah.
I love that,
Yeah. But I got to say,
chaos.
the American approach of having a structure and in that structure improvising,
Exactly.
for me, that works the best. So if you know, okay, we're going to do this at this point, this at that point, this at that point, but then what happens.
Yeah.
So maybe, it's shot time, let's do that because it's 1:15. And, it's showtime, so let's do that. So these are parameters just to change it up and not keep everything the same. And for the first 15 minutes, you're just doing songs. And then, and in that could be anything, but then you got sections and then you got, stopping the monotony of the whole evening,
Yeah.
Stop it. So I think it's a really good thing that we don't really use enough. Even in our solo shows. I mean, I don't do that. I really don't. But the thing is that, a lot of solo shows, especially the weddings that you do, everyone just wants to dance.
Yeah.
So I'll be doing lots of medleys.
Yeah, medleys.
I'll be jamming songs together. Sometimes I'll do like a dance, 25-minute dance medley,
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, hey, if it works, it works.
Or ABBA. I've got like 7 tunes in a row. ABBA,
Cool.
That works.
It works. I mean, but that's what people still love,
That's right.
Every night where I play, I would say within the first 10 songs, there's an ABBA request.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Every gig.
Yeah, ABBA is fantastic.
I mean,
when I was young, like 7, 8, I hated ABBA. I used to block my ears. Oh, ABBA's on, turn it off.
Yeah.
But that was because my sisters liked it, and it was a girls' thing.
Exactly.
And I was a 7-year-old. These days, ABBA is some of the best music ever made, in my opinion.
The progressions and the melodies.
Everything
beautiful.
about it is amazing.
I mean, it's
they were really fantastic pop tunes. They still are some of the best pop tunes ever written.
Yeah.
They're so infectious. They're such great melodies. And then they've got this complexity to some of them, like from the fantastic musicians that wrote them.
Yeah.
And really, the vocals were spot on, Hard to sing for a man, but really quite amazing. Great voices and everything about ABBA is fantastic.
Yeah, it's
To this day, I just wish I knew more ABBA songs. I've only got about 7 or 8,
Well, you know more than I do.
Yeah. The more I learn, I think, what about, Trooper, what about...
at least you got to know like Dancing Queen and Mamma Mia,
Gimme Gimme is really big at the moment.
It's really, I mean, and then, I love the...
Oh, yeah.
I don't want to talk.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
That is such a magical period of music. For me, I think probably for me more. I mean, because for me, a lot of those sounds, they conjure up pictures in my head of magical places.
Yeah.
Like where I could be taken away in this magical world of music.
Yeah.
Where it was like in a dream, And it doesn't happen like that anymore for music. Music doesn't have that same effect.
Ticketita, you and I cry. Sorry. Coming back to the no.
Yeah.
Stop it.
Yeah.
Diarrhea. I have to go again. Oh my
Yes,
God.
you used to sing that all the time, man.
God, it's like,
Yeah, diarrhea.
oops, when I thought I
Open up.
farted.
Yeah. Well,
It's just so stupid.
yeah. Yeah. It started with a piss. The back row of the classroom.
Oh my God. Well, please don't broadcast it.
Oh yeah, man, that's some funny shit right there.
Yeah, there you go.
You're gonna laugh. Well, we could talk like this forever. But
Oh, yeah.
At some point we've got to end.
Well, you told me in the beginning, like, okay, let's make it like an hour and a half, 2 hours, whatever. So, well, and it's Thursday as we're recording this. So, well, you might end up with me. It's going to be Friday night. And we're still talking.
My kids are waiting at school. Oh, Papa, where's my Papa?
Can you get this guy out of the house, please?
But of course, before we go anywhere, I would love to hear another song from you, man.
All right. Well, one of my all-time favorites, then, it has to be.
I think it's a good idea. Let's hear it. Oh yeah. Oh, sorry. Can I stop you here?
Sure.
Can I say something about this song?
Yeah.
Because I heard Billy Joel on TikTok recently talking about this song.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he says he always used to hate it that people play boo-ba-da-da, boo-ba-da-da-ba. That last chord
Yeah.
is a suspended chord. It's a sus chord. Ba, boo-ba-da-ba-ba. Yeah, that's sus. So that's 1, 4, 5. 4. Yeah.
With an F in it?
1, 4, 5. What chord are you playing there?
I'm playing C.
Yeah, so you should be CFG. Yeah. Yeah. Yes. That's the correct chord. Yeah.
With the F? Oh, okay.
So Billy Joel would say he would always walk into hear piano players playing the last chord as a major chord. It's not. It's a sus chord. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And so I never knew that either until a few days ago.
See,
I was like, holy shit, all my life I've been playing this wrong. So I thought I'd share that with you.
That's great, man.
Please carry on. Yeah.
Don't go changing to try and please me. I never let you down before. I don't imagine you're too familiar, and I don't see you anymore. I would not leave you in times of trouble. This I promise from the heart. I took the good times, I'll take the bad times. I'll take you just the way you are. I need to know that you will always be the same old someone that I knew. What will it take to believe in me? Where did I believe in you? And don't go trying some new fashion. Don't change the color of your hair. You always have my unspoken passion, although I might not seem to care. And I don't want clever conversation. I never want to work that hard. I just want someone that I can talk to. I want you just the way you are.
Yeah. Nice one, man.
Just the way you are.
Awesome, man.
Yeah, man.
Great song. Classic Billy Joel, man.
I love
Classic.
it. Yeah.
Phil Woods on the saxophone.
Yeah. Oh, I could go into solo. It's like, well, let's.
Yeah,
now
I know, but I'm just saying that really he used a lot of jazz musicians for that. For that album, specifically because he wanted that sound.
You know what I also like? I mean, I used to play. I forgot about it, but Still Crazy after all these years by Paul Simon.
Oh yeah, right.
Wow. I seen him live in the Ziggo Dome.
Oh wow.
And he did like the half of the Simon and Garfunkel stuff, and then half of the African stuff, and so he did a whole show, blah blah, it was great. The whole African band, everybody played. Then he came back on stage for one more song, just one spot up front, him and the guitar. That was it, and then did Still Crazy after all these years.
Oh really?
Oh, that's just like whoa.
Yeah.
Yes, I mean, it's fantastic.
I would love to have heard that. How long ago was that? In the 90s?
It was 2017, 18 ish.
Oh,
yeah, not that long ago.
Wow.
Well, 6 years.
7 or 8 years ago.
Yeah.
17, 18, 19.
Yeah.
7 years. Yeah.
2.5 minus
To the square root of
the square root of pi. I don't know. Square root of pi.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Because C squared, 7 years.
Yeah. No, it's just something like that, 2018 or 19, something. Yeah. Great. Wow.
Albert, it's been an absolute pleasure having you here. I've had a lot of fun.
Yeah, me too, man.
Thanks so much for coming.
And great for catching up as well.
And just a quick one. Where are you playing at the moment?
I play a lot of different things. I play with great pianos and booming pianos. They have their gigs everywhere around the country.
But you're also playing in the Brouwerij.
Yeah, Brouwerij in
Leeuwarden.
In
Leeuwarden.
Leeuwarden.
Yeah.
And sometimes I play live Amsterdam.
Oh, yeah.
I have my own gigs. I do a lot of work for the Rensen Theater in Emmen.
Oh, okay.
That's a lady. She's the owner of the place, but she also books me for different gigs as well. So I do that.
Do you post online on Facebook sometimes where you're gigging?
Sometimes I do. Sometimes I don't. Depends on how they pay me.
Yeah. Well, you know what?
If you know what I mean.
Now that you've done this, maybe you should get an Instagram account and start posting where you're gigging,
Actually, I have an Instagram account. I have no idea how that works. I'm so lost. I'm like,
yeah, it's pretty simple.
Yeah.
You could just post a picture and say, I'm playing these 5 gigs this week.
Yeah. I should be.
People can come check you out and have a laugh with you.
I'll have my daughter checking that out for me.
Are you playing this week in Leeuwarden?
No, actually, Saturday I'm playing in Zuid-Laderveen.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it's a metropole beside Tokyo. No. It's all the way up north.
Okay.
Like a big party tent or whatever it is. I don't know. But now we have the soccer or the football,
Yeah.
So I don't know. They have like big screens. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I've got also a similar problem. Saturday I'm doing a party at Sale in Noord-Brabant. But then the football.
Yeah.
So she's like, oh, can we do it on a different day? I'm like, well, no, I'm booked every day. So
yeah.
We can't. But I can play before, in the middle, and after.
Yeah.
That actually works really well, especially if we win. Then it'll be a huge party, And if we don't, then it won't. But I think there's a chance they could win the Euro Cup this year. They're playing like legendary, the Dutch.
The thing is like I've also experienced most of the time it's the North Sea Jazz Festival. It's this coming weekend.
Yeah.
Next weekend.
Yes, it is.
I'm going again. And I remember when the Netherlands got through all the way to the final in Africa or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
And they showed it on a big screen, so the whole program had to be changed around that big hall. And they got even in overtime because like the normal regular time was still 0-0 or 1-1 whatever. So they had to
was
go
that the World Cup against
yeah.
Spain?
Oh yeah, that was the one. And it took forever
and they lost.
And they were like, yeah, but I was like more annoyed. Like I want to hear my music.
Yeah. I was in Australia then, and we were in a bar in the middle of the night somewhere, and it was sad because we lost.
Yeah. Well, Holland never see. Well, only the European Championship, and
they've won it once. They've won it once.
I think, one time. Yeah.
Many years ago.
I still.
But hey, I mean, yeah.
Talking about football, whatever.
Yeah, I mean, talking about football. There's some great video footage of you and Stevie J.
Oh yeah.
And I hope that I find it so I can play it here. But can you just give us a quick rundown of that moment? Because you played in for the Fine Art fans.
Yeah.
What did you play? Was it You'll Never Walk Alone?
Yeah, it was like a few of the finer songs that
Yeah.
each club has their own
Yeah,
songs,
yeah,
you know?
yeah, yeah.
It was the open day. It was like when they present the new players and whatever, you know?
Oh.
We were playing on the pitch.
Well, there's a lot of people for open day.
It was 60,000.
That's great.
Well, normally it fits 50,000-ish, but with open day, they have still people walking around everywhere, you know? So it was like, I mean, we were sitting in the dressing rooms and we were like, oh my God, you hear the, like outside, you know, like, oh my, there's a lot of people. And then the tunnel opens up and you walk on the pitch and like, oh my God.
You see it in the video on your faces. You guys are like,
yeah. And
Totally freaking
once
out.
you get to playing, I mean, okay, you relax a little bit, but the first minute and a half, you're like, oh my God, what's going on here?
Was that just pianos or was that with drum machine?
It was with drum machine. We were playing with in-ears. Stevie had a drum
Okay,
machine.
because I had a conversation about this with Hans Voorsenbos, who did it with also once on the pitch with Rolf Velsen.
Yeah.
And he said that the drum machine was not in the monitor for some reason. They couldn't hear it. And all they could hear was the echo of it coming off.
Yeah.
So they're completely out of time with it. And he said that was one of his bad gig stories that he told me. How is it with you? Does it sound okay?
Well, I remember that.
Did you have it in ears?
Yeah, and I remember
Which
that.
is a long time ago.
No offense to anyone. I mean, hey, but I remember Stevie taking out one of his ears, or at least one.
Yeah.
So I don't know what happened there, but then you get the effect of the stadium, like falling like a second and a half behind what you're doing or whatever.
Yeah.
Whoa! It's like I'll just play through and just.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we did. You Never Walk Alone, Hand in Hand, Kameraden, stuff like that. You know.
Yeah, because I remember seeing Stevie singing "Wherever Walk," and then it goes to you like, the look on your face is like, "Oh my God!"
Yeah, it's just insane. You know, it's so great.
And you were wearing a Fine Art shirt.
You were wearing Fine Art shirts. Yeah. It barely fit.
I hope I get that footage actually from your. From Crazy Pianos.
Yeah.
Because I messaged him, but I didn't get an answer actually, so I've got to follow up on that. Hoping, because they used to play that video footage in the club all the time.
Yeah, on a loop. Yeah,
but I couldn't find it online anywhere.
I can tell you stories about, oh my God, do we have time for one more story?
Yeah, sure, tell us. Go.
You can cut this out if you...
No,
if it's too brutal.
I want to hear it.
Well, you know, back in the day at the front desk of Crazy Pianos, when you entered the club, there was this girl or guy, but most of the time we had Carmen. She was sitting there with and the back of her was like this cabinet filled with DVDs and whatever. But there was also a big TV screen behind her.
I know where you're going. Keep going.
Shall I go?
Because I think you're the second person to tell me this, but let's hear it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So by then we had, in the office, I think it was called Canal Plus or whatever.
Yeah.
And of course, it's not only movies, but also there's porn channels on there.
Yeah.
And now I remember these Februaries in the winter, of course, where on a Monday or something, it was like just 3 people and a few people walking on the boulevard.
Yeah.
And we would sneak into the office and turn on the porn channel.
Yeah.
But this girl was just watching, like, okay, people coming in. But these people looking past her, seeing his porn being played on the TV screen.
Bit of porn just to get you going.
And I remember one time on this, I can still cry laughing so hard, and that's the last thing I'll say.
09.
I played with Orange Sands now. Of course, he's one of my favorite piano players to play with.
Yeah.
It was during Christmas.
Yeah.
And Bjorn was the owner by then.
Yeah.
And he had installed these snow machines.
Oh,
he found a great idea.
Yeah.
Well, I'm the biggest child of them all, I think. And he put the button.
I gave you a button. No.
He put it on my side.
Oh, God.
So, and it was just if you press it a little bit, just little snowflakes will fall out. And people were sitting there. And Oren was playing, it's the most wonderful. And I was just holding the button. It was like a foam party, you know, like people eating their carpaccios and their soup. And Bjorn was like, oh man, stop it. All the snow was just pouring. It was like, it was white everywhere.
Classic.
And Oren, it's the most, oh man. I could cry laughing thinking about that.
Yeah.
It was so insane.
That's so funny, man.
Oh my God. Shit.
How did he not see the funny side of that?
or pressing it.
Now, how did he not see the funny side at the time, I'm saying?
Oh, my God.
You know.
When these waiters came out with food.
And it just got covered in snow.
No, but also like we had these presets, 1 to 12 or 10, whatever.
Yeah.
And one was really soft at the beginning of the night. And it would go up to 7, I think. So 7 was like insanely loud blood coming out of ears. Yeah. So on a Monday night, these waiters would come out with the dishes to be served. And I put it on 7. And ja zeker, de hypotheker! Like the commercial, and the food was just flying through the air.
Oh, classic.
They almost get a heart attack.
Oh, that's so funny.
Oh my God. I could
Happy
have been
days.
fired like 20 times,
Yeah.
Everybody was
classic,
mad at me again. I couldn't help myself.
Yeah, that is. I wish I'd have seen that. That would have been hilarious.
That was like the commercial back then, Ja zeker, de hypotheker. It was really loud.
Yeah.
And then on 7, it scared the crap out of them.
Oh man, I wish I'd have seen that. When was that? Was it in early 2000s or?
Yeah, it was like yeah.
I remember the the snow machine.
Oh my God, it was horrible.
What a bad idea.
One big foam party, and people were trying to eat the soup and like have a great Christmas.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Mate, it's been an absolute pleasure.
Yeah.
Thanks so much for coming. You made my day happier. So.
One last question.
Yes.
Who's going to interview you?
Good question. You?
That's something to think
I
about.
think you should.
I mean, the whole series, don't forget yourself.
No, that's a good idea. Okay. Well, how about you do it then?
Okay.
We'll make a time.
Yeah.
You come and interview me.
Yeah, we will.
I mean, my wife did it, but that was a test run.
Okay.
And I had the color correction. Well, that was pretty crappy, so I could never use it. But yes, let's do that. Okay. Yeah. I will think about that in the next few months. I'll put myself in the mix.
Okay, man.
Good move.
Yeah, man.
Okay.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, man.
Take it easy.
Talk to you soon.
Yeah.
Bye. Hey, man. Thanks, bro.
Thanks again for joining us. Don't forget to like and subscribe, as every Tuesday we interview another international piano entertainer. Check out our links in the description, and until next time, have a great week.